Hello. The title of my experiment is The Effect of Probiotics on the Growth and Height of Lima Bean Plants. There is an estimated 2 billion overweight individuals within the world, and of those 2 billion people, nearly 650 million people are considered obese. This large number of overweight individuals proves that the health of the human race is on a steady decline, and soon, the average lifespan of humans will become lesser and lesser. With this in mind, I've concluded that something needs to be done to halt these rising obesity rates, and I yearn to help the world return to a position of health and longevity. And that is where super plants come in. Probiotics are vital to human life, as they are responsible for balancing out the harmful bacteria and the good bacteria within the digestive tract. Probiotics are especially notable for their ability to destroy disease-causing cells, aid in the body's vitamin production, and treat diarrhea, eczema, lung infections, and gastrointestinal infections. Because of probiotics' bacteria-fighting abilities, I wonder if they could have a similar, if not better, effect on plants and their growth. Therefore, the question of my experiment is, how does the type of probiotic affect the growth and height of lima bean plants? For this experiment, the 3 probiotics I used were Lactobacillus acidophilus, Saccharomyces boulardii, and Bifidobacterium longum. The control group was watered solely with water. When watered with these probiotics, the plants could experience profound growth, as the probiotics will help maintain the plant's cellular processes by balancing the beneficial and harmful bacteria within the plant's microbiota. These energy-endowing plants could potentially improve the growth, health, and development of everyone who eats them, also improving the human lifespan and overall quality of life. Hopefully, these bioengineered plants will serve as a more nutritious alternative, while also being a more affordable alternative to the expensive fruits and vegetables that currently consume grocery stores. This slide mentions my question, hypothesis, and materials. I hypothesized that if the lima bean plants are watered with Bifidobacterium longum dissolved in water, then they will grow the most in height over the course of 28 days when compared to the plants watered with dissolved Lactobacillus acidophilus, dissolved Saccharomyces boulardii, and the plants watered solely with water. The materials are also listed in detail for you to see. As for the procedure of my experiment, I first started off by filling the planting cups. I then placed 1 lima bean seed 1.5 inches deep in the soil. After that, I divided the cups in groups of 3 and labeled each group with a different liquid, either dissolved Lactobacillus acidophilus, dissolved Bifidobacterium longum, dissolved Saccharomyces boulardii, or just plain water. I then watered each group with their respective liquid using steps 4 through 16, and I did so every other day. And I let the plants grow for 28 days before taking their final measurement. I recorded these final measurements in a data table and bar graph. This is how the plants looked on day 28, the last day of the experiment. So as you can tell, one plant in the Bifidobacterium group, it was damaged, so I had to estimate how tall this plant would be at day 28. While the other 2 plants in the Bifidobacterium group do look very healthy, one plant is taller than the other, but they both look extremely green and unblemished. Regarding the plants in the Lactobacillus group, one plant experienced profound growth, while the other 2 plants experienced rather lackluster growth. As for the plants in the water group, 2 of the plants did look very healthy, but they were shorter in height compared to the plants in the other probiotic groups. And then 1 plant in the water group did not sprout at all. As for the Saccharomyces group, 1 plant did experience profound growth, much like the Lactobacillus group, but 2 of the plants experienced lackluster growth. At the end of 28 days, here are the results. The plants watered solely with water grew an average of 11 centimeters. The plants watered with dissolved Bifidobacterium grew an average of 54 centimeters. The plants watered with dissolved Lactobacillus grew an average of 28 centimeters. And the plants watered with dissolved Saccharomyces grew an average of 26 centimeters. Over the course of 28 days, the plants watered with dissolved Bifidobacterium longum grew the most in height, averaging 54 centimeters. Although the other probiotic groups weren't too far behind, it is evident that the plants watered solely with water experienced slower growth than the plants watered with the added probiotics. The drastic contrast in results makes it clear that the probiotics best stimulated the growth of the lima bean plants. Since the addition of Bifidobacterium longum did cause the lima bean plant's increased growth in height, my hypothesis was thereby supported by this experiment. Thus, it can be concluded that probiotics have a similar effect on plants and humans. Comparing the tallest plants in each group, we can definitely conclude that the plants watered with probiotics experience much greater growth than the plants watered solely with water. These results are extremely beneficial to plant growers worldwide because it introduces the usefulness of probiotics in plants and provides evidence for increased plant growth with the use of probiotic solutions. With these results in mind, I, in the field of botany, will continue my development of an organic probiotic-based fertilizer that will not only spur the growth, development, and natural processes of plants, but will infuse the plants with a plethora of essential probiotics and vitamins. Not only will these plants be the face of change for society, but they will also be healthier, cheaper, and larger than any other plant on the market. Additionally, using the results of this experiment, botanists, including myself, can continue discovering environmentally friendly botanical and farming techniques and fertilizers. It must still be acknowledged that one limitation in my experiment is that I had to predict the final measurement of one of the plants in the Bifidobacterium longum group because that plant was damaged before I could take its final measurement at day 28. Also, if I were to redo the experiment in the future, I would ensure to completely dissolve the Lactobacillus acidophilus tablets in the water when I watered the plants to avoid a buildup of Lactobacillus acidophilus residue on top of the soil. But all in all, the bacteria-ridding and protective properties of the probiotics, specifically the Bifidobacterium longum, positively impacted the growth of lima bean plants and proved to be much more beneficial to the plants and their biological processes than water.